It is time for this week's installment of the Iron Sharpener. This week's challenger, hailing from the western United States, the Edgepro Apex. A young upstart in the sharpening world that has gained acclaim and fame for its precise skills in profiling, honing, and sharpening to a razor edge all variety of modern cutlery. Its task this evening to knock off the reigning champion. Tonight's iron sharpener is the Freehand. Using old world technology like bench stones, sandpaper, leather strops, occasionally peeking into the modern era with use of the sharp maker. The Iron Sharpener has 30 plus years of well-crafted experience at sharpening and honing knife steel to hair-whittling sharpness, using feel and experience to achieve perfection. Tonight's secret ingredient on the Iron Sharpener is the Mini Griptillion. Stay tuned for Battle Mini Grip on the Iron Sharpener. Okay, just kidding, guys. Rob here. Third video of the day on 1 April 2013. This is Battle Mini Grip. This here cute baby blue mini grip is mine. It's approximately 4 years old. It is 154 cm steel. It has been lovingly reprofiled and sharpened by, yes, my experienced and thoughtful hand. And it was done freehand. This knife and the black one next to it both have been produced in an age of bench-made edges that I think leaves a lot to be desired. They both come from the overly steep edge profile era, and this one was reprofiled freehand, and the reason that it has this glinting, high-polished approach grind is because, well, I was using a stone that had a lot of concavity in it, and if you can see, I didn't get all these polished out, but I put quite a few scratches in this blade grind because I was using a cupped stone and had a lot of slurry going, and I tried to polish it out, and it does look kind of cool, but it's not perfect. It is one of the casualties of freehand sharpening. From time to time we tend to scratch up the blade, and I did on this one. However, I did sharpen it to a rather keen edge, and it's been an edge that I've been able to maintain pretty well over the years. So that is contestant number 1 in tonight's Battle Mini Grip. Contestant number 2, off the Edgepro, is Campfiretalk's Mini Grip. Same vintage, had the same bad edge. Not bad edge, just overly steep edge. Same steel, 154 cm. And Camp had, he'd worked on this blade over the years, and he had reprofiled it to some degree by hand, but He sent it up to me for a little Edgepro treatment, which it did receive. And if you'll notice, no such problems with this blade. It just came out beautiful. Look at that gleaming Edgepro edge. Now this is a user for Campfiretalk. One of his most regularly carried knives. So here's kind of what I thought I would do with it. I did take that steep approach primary bevel and reprofile it to 15 degrees, and then I put what I would call a scant 20-degree micro bevel on, and it's probably about 19 degrees, and it's a little more than micro. I wanted to give them a pretty stable platform to touch up with. So I did more than just knock the edge off that 15-degree primary, and went up the grind a little bit with the secondary bevel. And I finished it with the 3000 grit polishing tape and then the strop. So both knives have been taken through several grits of abrasive and both sides of my strop. I just kind of want to see which one cuts best. And guys, you're going to find out at the same time I am. I'm going to use two identical and adjacent pieces of paper from the Natchez Shooter Supply catalog. And this isn't an exact science. I don't have the best technique in the world for flimsy paper cutting, but let's try the old freehand mini grip first, see what we get. You know, that's pretty good. That knife was reprofiled, gosh, over 3 years ago. And it's been touched up on the old sharp maker and stropped every time I use it and put it away. Now let's see what we got from the Edgepro with Camp's knife. Well, you have to hear it because it was hard to see it. But what I heard was a little better edge from this knife. I heard a little less cutting resistance going through the paper. It did go through more easily, it started more easily, but boy was it close. So what's the verdict? Well, I can tell you this. On this blue knife a few years ago, I spent hours, and there was some trial and error involved, and I made a mistake, and the finish of my blade, as you can see, had to be altered for it to look presentable. There's still some scratches in that polished edge that are probably never going to come out. And then you got Camp's knife. It looks pristine and beautiful. And I'm going to try to get this tip for you. I have learned how to preserve a tip on the Edgepro. See how close I can get and still focus. It came out great. Camp, you'll be seeing this knife again in person on Thursday when I see you. That was kind of a fun little comparison, wasn't it? As you can see, this is a carry knife for Campfiretalk, and well, mine's one of many. And Here's a cool little friend's knife story. I reprofiled another mini grip for a buddy of mine who used to work for me, and I sat and finished his clip for him, much like you saw in my Benchmade 710. He liked that clip so much, he put it on his 950 Rift, and he gave me the split arrow clip from the Rift, which I thought would look really cool on my mini grip, and it does, don't you think? Benchmade calls it the split arrow clip. Nothing Fancy calls it the phallic clip. Gee, I'm not sure why. I thought it kind of looked cool. It's kind of a light duty clip, good for a small light knife like this one. And frankly, yeah, it's cooler than that big nasty painted one. Sorry, Camp, you can't have my clip. Anyway, guys, thought you'd like to see that, and sorry for the cheesy intro. No, I'm not. You needed a laugh tonight. Grace and peace. Talk to you soon.